50 minutes into a sit, and people will start doing this in the meditation. And just so you know, like, don't do that. Don't do it. It's amazing to watch. Wow.
Check out on my end, we're gonna check out over here.
And we've got a stream going there too.
All right, you're all good.
We have stream confirmation. I'm Michael Taft. We're going to do an hour-long guided meditation. You get to ignore the meditation if you want, or join in as much as you want, or as little as you want. All I ask is that you sit quietly and to the best of your ability, motionlessly. Again, besides checking the phone, sometimes people let's say they have very advanced Velcro game in their clothing, decide they need to change all their clothing, adjust it in the middle of the meditation. And so just remember, we're not home alone, right? We are among others who are, participating. So let's have some mindful compassion for those around us who are also meditating. What's the issue?
Your voice is not.
Do I need to turn this thing on? What? What is this shit? Okay. You'd think I'd done this never before, right? So we'll do that for an hour, and then I will say some stuff, and then I'll invite you to talk into the microphone, wherever that ended up. Oh, yeah, Faiza has it. Faiza will bring around the microphone to anyone who wants to ask questions or report on their experience or talk about how they're feeling. And then after that, at the very, very end, we will meditate just a little more. Okay? Who's new here tonight? I know you probably already said so. 3 folks. If you haven't sat on the floor for an hour before, know that that's pretty challenging for people, so you might want to sit in a chair. Just for the record, if you're not used to doing that, it's no joke. So, I get to see everyone meditating. I sit with my eyes open, right, and very often see people just for whom the whole meditation becomes agonizing struggle with their hips and knees and maybe ankles. So just in case you think that may be you, I invite you to just sit in a chair. Okay. Everybody ready? Okay. Do you want to do the rolling on the floor or the stretching? Rolling on the floor. Okay, so remember, this is the Laura Ward patented most important exercise you could ever do in your life. Before we roll the exercise, and again, warning, we're going to do body stuff now. Your body is your body, my body is my body. So I'm going to demonstrate stuff that maybe you don't want to do, so don't do it. Okay? Like, you take care of your own ecology. But according to movement specialist that I've known since 1980, probably 3, Laura Ward, this is the best thing you could ever do for longevity and health, which is stand up and then get on the floor and then stand up again and then get on the floor. And you don't have to do it the same way every time. It's not an exercise. It's just getting on the floor and standing up. Turns out when you can't do that anymore, it's not good. Might not be dead yet. Then we're gonna go to level 2. Okay, level 2 is fascia oriented, not fascist. Fascia oriented. So you lay on the floor and roll around in any way you want. There's no prescribed way to roll. In fact, the more you just turn into a weird baby and just roll whatever way you want, the better. It's not an exercise. It's rolling on the floor. Okay, hard to do up here. All right. Did we get some weird babies? Yes, good. That's what we want, is weird babies. That squishes your fascia around, and that's good. If you have blocks and stuff, you can really go there. Okay. Then we are going to do just one last thing that I just can't resist, which is breathing up, opening up the ribs. But from here, first go down and force out all the air. All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. Then breathe in, really open the ribs, open the ribs, open the ribs. And then don't hold it, keep breathing. Really get a good breath of that pure, sweet COVID. And now go down in front, stretching your lower back. And breathing into your lower back. Okay. I can't resist a twist or two. You do you. And then everyone's favorite, simhasana. Ready? I want a very good simhasana here. That wasn't bad, but I think we can embody our inner simha just a little more furiously. Okay, ready? Okay, thank you. Feel that? Woo! Wakes you right up. Now let us do a small amount of Bija mantra chanting. Remember that it sounds dumb when we all breathe at the same time, so just we're staggering our breaths whenever you want, right? But we're just keeping the Bija mantra going. The Bija mantra tonight will be Hum, which if it were in English you would spell something like H-O-O-M, Hum, but it's really more like Hum, Hum. It's a nasalized It's a nasalized palatal, I think. Anyway, anybody unclear about the sound? Okay. We'll do this for several minutes. So what I invite you to do is just, you don't need your mind for the whole rest of the meditation. There's no reason to have a thinking mind at all during this meditation, so just set it over here. In fact, just take it like Angelina just did, just grab it like a toaster and just set it over here, aside on the floor. There it is. You don't need that sucker. And now just rest in easy, open, natural, spacious presence, which is what's there when you're not engaging with all those thoughts. And let's chant a little bit and just notice this is a very powerful, radiant Bija mantra that is going to take you on a journey if you stay outside your thinking mind. So let's go there. rest in the spacious presence of that Bija mantra energy, while also remaining disengaged, uninterested, uninvolved with thinking at all. Right? This is not a struggle. We're not fighting with thoughts. We're not trying to stop thoughts. We're not trying to make thoughts go away. We just don't care about thoughts. So if they're over there thinking, that's fine. They can get to think as much as they want. We, however, are just resting in presence. Right? Sitting in natural, open, spacious wakefulness. So metaphorically, sit like the sky. We're not concentrating hard on anything at all. We're just wide open in presence. In fact, there's barely anything at all to do because you're already awake, you're already present. And so just sit, uninvolved with thought. And if you want to, if you need a little tiny bit of a focus object, just notice that in this vast, open, shining sky of awakeness, the breath wave is coming and going. You can just notice that the breath wave, the wind of the breath rises and falls. But we're just noticing this in a very normal, natural way. You're not concentrating on it or trying to make anything out of it. It's just metaphorically a bright, open, shining, sunny sky, and there's this gentle wind that comes and goes. So let's just sit with that together for a while, resting in natural presence, remaining very present. Maybe noticing the breath wave coming and going a little bit. Totally uninvolved with thought. remember this is the opposite of a struggle. We're not trying to fight with our thoughts at all. We're just staying uninvolved. And if they're really continuously grabbing on, then you can dial up the focus a little bit on just a little bit on the breathing. Otherwise, just rest. Wide awake, wide open, naturally present, clear, awake. Just ask yourself the question, am I present right now? And if you are, great, and if you're not, just return to presence. It's not hard. just remaining open, remaining like the sky, remaining in simple, easy, natural, open presence. Feel the whole body breathing. Feel your shoulders rising and falling, and the rib cage expanding and contracting, and the belly doing its thing, and even your kidney region expanding and contracting, all the way down to the base of the torso, all of that breathing, and then you might even feel it in your arms and legs and skin, all over in your face, in your head, everywhere. Just feel how the breath is happening in the whole body. And just tune into that again in a very light way, not strongly focusing, just noticing it. Mainly remaining open, relaxed, at ease, simple. And as soon as you tune into that, it's possible you might notice a lot of energetic type aliveness in the body, buzziness, tingliness, energy type stuff, which is fine. We're not trying to do anything with that or concerned about it, but often it will sort of show up when noticing whole body breathing like this. If it doesn't, that's fine. It's interesting how whole body breathing is kind of like a massage. We're not trying to do anything here, we're just breathing. But you notice the whole body moving, the whole body gently expanding and easily contracting, and everything's moving, everything's shifting, everything's able to be alive and supple and vivacious in just that breathing. May begin to notice in some of those feelings of aliveness in the body that there's a kind of sense of, I'll just call it energy, whatever. Moving the breath. That the breath itself, the coming and going of the breath, is kind of being pushed or propelled or moved by this much subtler, much quieter energy behind it. And we're not imagining that, we're not trying to picture that or trying to make something that's not there. But if you feel that, that's interesting to tune into. This energy behind the breath. What's moving the breath? Just feeling into that movement behind the movement. Feeling it expanding the whole body on the in-breath and contracting the whole body on the out-breath. And I invite you to just feel even more closely into that energy. If you're not noticing the energy behind the breathing, then just do this with the breathing itself. It's fine. But just tune into that. Rising and falling energy, moving all the breathing, moving the whole body. Just get into its continuous changingness. It's not stuck, it's not trapped, it's not compressed or somehow chained up. It's utterly unfixated, utterly free. Continuously changing, continuously fresh, continuously new. And notice how this energy behind the breath fills the whole body. It's not just moving the breathing, it's filling the whole body. You can feel it in your hands, your feet, your arms, your legs, your face. Again, without imagining, without trying to make something happen, without trying to see something that's not there, just feel it. Or feel whatever you feel. But as we tune in more and more to this, there can be quite a sense of growing aliveness in the body, just vivaciousness, energy. Spontaneity, playfulness, it's there. And notice you don't even have to concentrate. It's not a concentration exercise. You're just feeling what's there, uninvolved with thought. Allowing yourself to be real relaxed, real open like the sky, not trying too hard, just noticing. And as you tune in more and more to this, you can just relax and open. Good. Now, again, just go with whatever you're experiencing. But I invite you to notice that in the core, in the center of this energy, it's just wide open. You think that it's in your body, and so it's somehow like down inside a tube, or it's compressed, or like in a can or something, but instead, it's just absolutely boundless in there. The core of the energy is spaciousness. And furthermore, because you've noticed the changingness and openness and mutability of the energy, you can also notice that the boundaries of the body are not very solid. And so that within the energy itself, it's boundless and spacious. And all around it, it's boundless and spacious, so that the outer space and the inner space are just one vast openness. With no boundaries, no barriers, no contained spaces. It's just all open. Tremendously alive, energetic, wide awake. totally open and free. Good. And now just, I use the word look, but you could feel or sense, but just notice, look down into the center of that spaciousness. That vast openness in the center, just look or feel down into it and just notice there's just absolutely no bottom at all. Enormous, groundless, vast openness. All the way inside. And then just turn it back around on what's looking. And notice just enormous, vast, boundless openness. That's wide awake, it's aware space, but with no center at all. just for a moment, look. Who's looking? Look. What's looking? Try to find it. What's looking? Try to find it. What's looking? Good. Now notice this spaciousness, this vastness, the groundlessness, the openness. It's not dead, it's not still, it's not neutral. It's got tremendous energy. That energy is just continuously manifesting, continuously moving and vibrating and becoming. The space becomes the feeling of the body, which never crystallizes or fixates into a body, but becomes the feeling of bodiness. The energy becomes breathing. The waves of movement of the air. The energy pouring out of the space becomes all the feelings, all the emotions. Continuously changing, moving, growing, shrinking, never fixating anywhere, never crystallizing, but vibrant, alive, shining in the awake space. Even all that thought activity over there in the thinking world is just the vibration of the awakeness. The shining brocade of its expression. Never landing anywhere, never able to be pinned down, but clear and bright and shining, luminous with awakeness and presence. This energy of space becomes the sound of the room around you. Sound of the world around. Brilliant and clear and never landing, never finished, never congealing. Always moving, changing, bright, open, clear, spontaneous, playful, joyous. even the sights, if your eyes are open, even the sight of the room around you, all the visual of the room is pouring out continuously from this vast, vast openness. Just buzzing and tingling into a whole visual field of color and light and pattern and texture and shade. Utterly rich, luminous, delicious, exquisite, but never crystallizing into anything, never congealing, never stuck. This energy turns into the sense of a personality, the energy boiling out of the core, vibrates into the sense of personhood, continuously shifting, continuously changing, never landing into an actual entity, but nonetheless present, vibrant, dancing, alive, exquisite, changing with patterns of thought and feeling and emotion, beautiful, alive, a dream. This energy coming out of the awake space is doing everything. Effortlessly creating everything. Look right now and see if you can find anybody doing anything. Where is someone doing something? Any sense of doing anything is just an appearance in this shining awakeness. The shining awakeness awakeness, the energy does everything. Effortlessly. So just let go into the awakeness and the openness and the energy that does everything. The fact that it allows everything to happen, it provides space for everything to be. It paints the world on the canvas of itself. That's its love. It's unconditional love. It will let anything exist, even it will sometimes create ugly things, sometimes create painful things, sometimes create difficult things, sometimes create beautiful, lovely, wonderful things, sometimes do all of it. But it's the fact that it allows it all, manifests it all. That's its gift, the ultimate gift. So just relax and let go and allow yourself to return to your true nature, which is this ultimately creative, energized space of awakeness. And the whole sock puppet being that we pretend to be over and over and over just can let go. The doll made of salt jumps in the ocean. It'll come back. There's no need to worry. It gets to be there too. Everything gets to arise from this energy, but know that you are the space, you are the energy, you are the awakeness. You're the space in which the whole world appears. Good. Now remaining unengaged with thought, resting as wide open, wide awake, vibrant space. Allow this infinite groundless openness to manifest the seed syllable Hum again, together with me. Good, now let's shift it to a different seed syllable. Hri. Okay, good. Let's end that there. So there's a famous line by Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche that I always come back to again and again because it's a very good line, where he says, the bad news is you're falling through space. The good news is there is no ground. And, this line is apropos of basically everything, but for the kind of work we're doing, it's really helpful to remember that even though we're resting as and recognizing this groundlessness, right? The absolutely vast openness that has nothing to hang on to, no landmarks, no signs or meta tags or anything to guide us, right? It's completely groundless. It's utterly void in that sense. It can be at first kind of either terrifying, like I'm falling is a common reaction, like a feeling of vertigo or a feeling of falling or a feeling of disorientation, even nausea. So it can feel like that. It can feel scary, like there's no ground, I'm falling, and that, and the person I think I am is sort of dissolving into that, right? That's terrifying, and also a really good thing, but can be terrifying. If someone tells me they're having that experience, my reaction is usually, good, let's work with that, right? It's scary, but you're on the right track. But it can also be kind of a bummer at first to just be like, but everything is just this groundless hole in space. What about life, and what about the people I love, and what about, a beautiful dog, or, what about everything? And again, when I run into that, which is very, very often, and certainly have run into it a bunch myself, it's like that's a good thing. It's not a good thing that it feels uncomfortable, but it's good because you're on the right track. It's just, you gotta take it further past the bad news is you're falling through space and go to the next part of it. The good news is there is no ground, right? There's a whole other side of it that is exquisite, right? It means everything is the expression of this openness, right? This pure potential keeps burgeoning forth into everything we're experiencing, everything we even imagine we are, everything that we see the world to be, with all its beauty and all its horror and all that. But it is actually tremendously sacred. It was just born out of the womb of the void a nanosecond ago. Continuously, utterly. It's just exquisite. Right? It's exquisite. And there's no part of it, you can't find any part of all of experience that isn't utterly sacred in that, including your difficult feelings, and including your traumatic problems, and including your difficulties with your partner, and including everything that is fucking going on in the world, including all of that. The sacred openness loves all of it. It all gets to be here. It's just like in a mandala, right? Every part of the mandala has its place. Every piece of the mandala has a right spot where it belongs. And so, you don't have to believe me. This isn't some kind of religion where I'm trying to talk you into it. It's just notice this. When you find yourself sort of in the difficult part of the voidness of it, turn the other way and notice that it's full of energy, and the energy is radiating into all of this and all of this and all of us continuously, right? It's exquisite, it's beautiful, it's powerful. And it might feel bad, because sometimes we feel bad, sometimes we feel good, sometimes things are beautiful, sometimes things seem really harsh and tragic and ugly. But when you're in touch with the core, when you notice the groundless potential at the center of it, and the love that makes that all possible, it's exquisite. Because it is this tremendous, joyous expression of love that all of this is happening. And again, you don't have to believe me, just notice it, it's right there. We just need different vocabulary, right? Because it's not like, oh, I feel so much love like I feel for, a person. It's a different kind of flavor of love. The love that gives birth to a world, The love that accepts everything. Yeah, so let's see if you guys have anything you want to say. Faiza will bring around a microphone. This is the pretend microphone. Remember, you're going to talk into it. It's beaming live to the internet, so anything you say will be preserved in the Akashic records for all time. And also, we all just meditated as a Sangha here, so be somewhat mindful of your speech. Motherfuckers. So please just raise your hand if you want to share about your experience or report something or ask a question or whatever.
What you were describing with the falling, that describes my experience at some point. I would say I went from periods of panic and just ejecting from it and doing something else or meditating in a different way.
Yeah.
To more sort of just tension and allowing it to happen more. I guess I want to ask what might be some steps that you would suggest?
Yeah, good, right? That happens. Oh, you get close enough to panic, that's good, because you're getting close. So there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. Devotional practice helps if you have someone to kind of be there with you, whether in your heart or in your literal physical presence or in your spirit. Devotional type stuff can really help. And the irresistible, never failing method is to just do it over and over again. Right? You can't be afraid of something forever, especially if it never actually hurts you. You go there and you're scared and you bounce out, and you go there and you're scared and you bounce out, and you go there and you're scared and you bounce out. If you do that 1,000 times, it's just hard to be that afraid anymore. And you'll start to relax and go a little deeper and be a little more groundless and dissolved over the infinite void, right? And then you'll just relax a little more and a little more and a little more. And so each time you contract, you're learning something, right? You're learning that it didn't hurt you, and that it's always there. And so, but it can help you hear people who have done this before you say, you know what, nothing bad's going to happen. It's not going to harm you. So you hear that helps. Maybe you have some kind of devotional practice that can help, because then you're partnered as you go in there. Okay? But the irresistible thing is to just keep doing it.
Thanks.
Yeah. What else is going on out there?
Hi. Yeah, I guess just sort of a general question is, what is your recommendation for daily practice, outside of this? Because when I come in here, I feel really, in touch with myself and all that. But when I leave, that's still it continued throughout the week. So I came to your last class for the first time, continued. But I would like to know, since it's not so structured when I'm at home, and it's kind of difficult, I find myself opening my eyes more and not being as like present in the meditation? Like, how would you
when
go
you're at
about
home, are you doing it silently, or are you following along with the video again, or what are you doing?
I mix it up. So,
Okay.
like some days I'll like do like 20 minutes silent, and then other times I'll do it with like a video.
Mhm.
It honestly depends. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least you're doing it every day, which is the most important part. And really, the recommendation I can go into along, the teaching of what to do, it takes time. But I would say, if you have, a basic thing that you're coming back to again and again that feels pretty good, you're getting centered and you're getting stable and you're noticing the openness. Remember the way we're doing this, we're never focusing hard, right? We're not doing that thing of getting tight and getting focused. We're staying real open and real loose and real relaxed and letting ourselves kind of rest closer and closer to our nature as wide awake, wide openness. And so you want to sit like that. Okay, so even just that part of like the most basic first part of the meditation, set your thoughts aside, come into natural presence, and then just be present. And if you need to, just let the breath wave come and go. Okay, that's what I would do. And then there's a lot more we can do, but that's a good place to spend some meditation time.
Thank you.
Yeah. And if you like doing the seed syllable chanting and stuff, especially at the beginning, that can really help as well. Yep.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. When does concentration practice come in? If ever.
Just enough that you're able to set your thoughts aside.
Thank you.
After that, it's not concentration practice, because the openness of awakeness, the openness of presence, is completely stable. You don't need our thoughts. Most meditation, we're trying to make our thinking stable, and it's like, whoa. We're not doing that at all. We're setting the thoughts aside and noticing that just sitting in presence, it's already stable. And so that's not concentration, that's stability, right? That's a very different thing. And so you only want to do enough concentration so that your thoughts aren't driving you crazy the whole meditation. Okay? So it's just a little bit, and then we're doing something very different. Does that make sense? Yeah, okay, good. Any last stuff? Got a couple folks here.
Thanks. I was just kind of reflecting on how I've dipped in and out of a meditation practice over the years, and how a lot of that has been very goal-directed.
Yeah.
For a while in the past, it was like, I want to be enlightened.
Good.
And now I don't really care about that.
Okay. What do you care about?
Not that.
Okay.
No. Yeah, and I find myself more interested in it now because I'm doing a coaching program, and part of the requirements of it are to meditate for at least 10 minutes a day. Yeah, and I'm just curious to get your thoughts on that. Like, is it okay to be goal-directed with this? It feels kind of almost antithetical to the practice, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question, and of course it comes up a lot. And it really, the answer is weird because it depends. There's one way of looking at it where there's nowhere to get to and nothing to do, and why would you try? And that's just antithetical, and you're building the very ego you're trying to deconstruct. And so don't do anything at all. But there's the opposite way of looking at it, which is like, well, you can just, fumble around in that confusion for another 20 lifetimes if you want to, but instead we can kind of step by step get closer to recognizing that more clearly. And what I would say is both of those views are right. And the weird thing is, the difficult thing is to, even though they seem opposite, to recognize that they actually complement each other. And that it's, from one side of it, very fine to do practices and to have a goal and to be working towards something, while also noticing that in another way of looking at it, we're already there. Okay, you gotta be able to do both. But just going, there's nothing to do. I don't, I'm already awake. Okay. For most people, where most of us are at, I'm not saying anything about you, where most of us are at, that's just saying, fuck this spiritual shit, and now I'm going to have all kinds of other goals. Right? I'm still going to be super goal directed, but just about other things. So how is that a win? Right? It's like, oh, I was able to give up on this one goal and pretend that I'm done with that, but now I'm just going to go work really hard on my roadblocks or whatever. So. I'm not pointing that at you. It's like, it's funny. It's like, it's the same kind of game that people play when they say, like, well, I don't need to get into my spirit. What if my spiritual practice is making me check out? I'm just checking out. I'm learning to check out. What if it's making me, just bypass? What if it's making me bypass? Okay, motherfucker. So you're not doing that anymore. Now you're just doing every other thing all day long to bypass. You're just watching TV to bypass and reading a book to bypass and, checking your phone constantly to bypass and drinking to bypass and every other damn thing. So how did you win there? By being so worried about bypassing with your spirituality, right? So you see what I mean? There's a way that we can kind of talk ourselves out of this one thing and then just go back to filling it all up with all the other crap. And so I would say, it's very important to be like, okay, I am gonna be worried about my spiritual bypassing, but I'm also gonna watch myself checking out and bypassing all the rest of the damn day. And in the same way, sure, yes, it is 100% true. You are already a shining Buddha, right? You are already Shiva. Now, know that. And knowing it, if it's not happening, there might be something to do. Okay? Yeah, thanks for the question. I love it. Okay. Thank you, Faiza. I always appreciate it. Let's sit for forever. For 5 glorious minutes where I shut up. Okay. This is silent. Okay, very good. Let's see. So we're going to put all the cushions away, so feel free to join in the party of putting the cushions over on the side, very neatly. And then feel free after that to go into the foyer, the parlor, and do some parlin'. Talk with your Sangha friends and cohort, and maybe there's some snacks out there, maybe there's some tea, and just hang out. This is what this place is for. And then beyond that, again, as usual, I invite you to come to Death Sangha on Halloween. There's the biggest night of the year at Alembic. In this room, we will do a giant death meditation for several hours, but you have to come as someone dead, as some kind of corpse or some kind of skeleton or something. So it is Halloween, so you dress up, but we're also doing quite a serious and in a fun way traditional meditation. So there's that. Remember that I give back any donations. So, normally Alembic cuts the donations in half with teachers. Alembic keeps some, the teachers keep some, but I give my part back. So whenever you donate during the Michael Taft show, it's effectively doubled. Okay, it's effectively doubled. And if you also have a company you work for that uses something like Benevity or whatever, it's effectively quadrupled, right? Because they're going to double it. So when you're giving and you say, I did this during the Michael Taft meditation, and this is, assuming you have, it's at least doubled and maybe quadrupled. Okay? So thanks everybody. See you soon.
Ah,